Morena from Aotearoa on this extraordinary astrological alignment we're being presented with today. We have a new moon, eclipse, that sidereal and traditional astrology both agree are in Aquarius today. And what was really extraordinary about this eclipse that occurred literally 8.5 hours ago is that it was a ring of fire eclipse visible from Antarctica in the southern seas. And I didn't know that till recently. I knew most of us were going to see a partial eclipse, but actually from Antarctica, we got a full ring of fire eclipse, which feels significant about today as we are entering this year of the fire horse in our Chinese calendar, a year of accelerated disassemblage of systems that no longer serve, and an extraordinary opportunity to align and manifest our destiny and our soul service in the world. And on that note, I always remember Barbara Marx Hubbard used to say, evolution takes the time it takes to align. And if we are not evolving, we are devolving at this time. So on that note, we're going to step into our alignment process, and we're going to hand you over to Stephanie Elaine in between Casey and I today for a lovely 0 point relocation orientation.
Okay.
So welcome to the field. For those old souls who are new in this circle, it is a gift to have you with us today. Thank you for your service, and thank you for your presence here today. So for those who are arriving new to this replay, you may want to sound, breathe, and move as well when we go through this alignment process together. Let us begin, aligning our physical, mental, and emotional bodies where there is no hierarchy, with all-pervading soul or higher self and monadic galactic self. Activating the earth star 1 foot, half a meter beneath the feet, and calibrating through the divergent meridians of the planetary body and our elemental structures and their infinite potential of evolution. Raised light, loose light, agua, water, fuego, fire, and oro, crystal, mineral kingdom. Inviting up and awakening through our planetary body to cleanse, clear, and purify, recalibrate, reorientate, rejuvenate, and regenerate. All the way up to our soul star, 1 foot, half a meter above the head, where we connect with our celestial nature and anchor through our star maps. As we surrender through the core of Source in the heart of Gaia, where the true earth architecture emerges. And as we do that, just softening into the pelvis, into the chalice, and into the planetary body. Remembering to breathe, often exhaling on that note. Surrendering through the core of Source in our own heart spaces. Through the heart of the sun and the great central suns. Through the heart of the moon and the heart of Theia. And reactivating our solar and lunar discs within our own unique systems. And surrendering through the core of Source and the galactic center, wherever that is located within our unique systems, be that through the umbilical or through the third eye, our gateway to God, the all-seeing, the all-knowing, and the part of ourselves that resides outside of time. Inhaling, exhaling the sound as we strengthen and fortify our own unique pillar on the planet. Inhaling, exhaling the sound as we strengthen and fortify our pillar with the point on the planet where we stand while honoring the guardians in the seen and the unseen realms. Honoring our bees, our honeybees, who feel very present with us today on this journey. Inhaling, exhaling the sound as we connect around and through the planetary body. And calling forth our highest possible soul destiny and service to person, people, and planet, according to divine will and divine plan, in right relationship with our corporal, our physical body, and our human experience. As we surrender into Source. And I pass you over to Stephanie Elaine.
Thanks, Leanne. We're going to do a little experiment. We're going to find our OMNIQuantum infinite zero point, and it's a part of our original blueprint. So, our original energetic field. This is the origin point. So, what I want you to do is in your physical body and in your energetic field, wherever, and don't judge it, wherever it is, if it's in a strange place, don't worry about it, have fun with it. But I want you to locate it. And as soon as you locate it, just give me a little finger up so I know that you found it. And don't worry, you can't lose it. And it may move around, so sometimes it likes to play with you. It's been in some interesting places. People have found it, so just have fun with it. But it's yours. It's your original blueprint origin point. If you can't find it now, don't worry. You can practice it. It will show up for you once you ask for it. So just get used to it. Feel it. Okay. Now we're going to do a little acknowledgement of it, which also helps you to find it. So, acknowledge by imagining within you your personal omniquantum infinite sacred space 0 point, a place of deep silence where all goes still, completely calm, the place of no thing, where all is one, the void. As you acknowledge this feeling, it spreads from your omniquantum infinite 0 point to the top of your head, and from your omniquantum infinite 0 point to the tips of your toes, traveling slowly and filling your body with the calm, gentle experience of no thing. And now, using the 3-to-1 method, you go deeper into your omniquantum infinite 0 point. At the count of one, you will be at the deepest level of your omniquantum infinite 0 point, deeper than ever before. 3, 2, 1. You are now at the deepest level within your OMNIQuantum infinite 0 point, deeper than ever before. And with that, I'm going to hand you over to Casey.
Thank you, Stephanie. We will stay in this unified field as we expand out even further, understanding that this resetting point that we are taking in the personal field is also available on the highest in the quantum for all, connecting up to the source fields, connecting out through the consciousness of the suns. We are being welcomed into a higher council meeting today, the day of a great shift that we are taking place. The zero pointing as we step into the entry point of the wormhole. The connecting point from this point to where we are headed. As we are in the 0 point field for as long as it takes for the adjustment. Understanding that the human time is a shift for about the passage of time between the eclipses. But understanding on the larger scale, it is going at a different pace. With the earth shifts, we welcome into the field the master consciousness of the suns themselves, the great masters who have held this consciousness field for us, for the solar systems, for the galaxies, holding the data and information streams, allowing the consciousness fields to continue. And we wish to bring into your awareness at this time the entry and the exit gate consciousness. And please be aware that there are shifts happening on how they have been used in the past until now. There's being a change being made to these systems of how the souls enter and exit and where that it is most appropriate for them. They have been shifted in the past and now they are going through another shift at this time because of the vibrational match that the new souls are requiring. Some of the exit gates are dissolving away. Some of the entry gates are now moving to places that you may not recognize in your consciousness field at this point. Please know that it is all done in divine perfection. Because the wave of the incoming souls are great. That the changes need to be made because the contracts have already been put in place. So now we get to see the reverberation of the change. As the earth shifts and moves to accommodate these shifts of the gates. The entire process of the exit gate is shifting and changing. It is activating up to a different experience for the soul. And the physical experience may shift as well. As the souls are reuniting with that direct source connection. There is to be a dissolving away of the old experience. That is why the 0 point field, the resetting of each system, is very important at this time. The understanding of what your soul has walked through may change as we step into a higher consciousness field in the unity of oneness for all. It is those that have adjusted their fields, adjusted their templates, that hold that unified field for others to adjust to, holding the expansive field that others may join in. This is how the shift is taking place. Please be aware that your jobs may change. The roles that you have held in different lifetimes may be adjusted at this time. Higher callings may step in. Instead of affecting change on the individual level, you may now be called to a more expansive field, depending on the learning of your soul and what your soul requires, and depending on the codex for which your soul holds the keys to. There are many gifts opening up into the field at this time as well, attached to some of our soul lineages, attached to our dragon aspects, our elemental aspects, our fae aspects. You may begin to recognize what we are calling your dragon precognition to begin to be amplified. There are also other many gifts that you may begin to explore as your fields expand into the higher consciousness. We are delighted and honored to be part of your journey. And we are grateful to be a part of the circle going forward today. Staying in this expanded field, we wish to journey on together in the unified field. When you are ready, breathing just a little deeper into your body, choosing to come in to participate, holding this field of expansion and letting whatever wants to come forward at this time.
Thank you, Casey, and thank you, Stephanie Elaine, for our still point meditation. There's a piece that Casey just shared that reminded me of an interesting piece that unfolded through Planetary work a few days ago with Caroline Leprevo, a French sister who is currently based just outside of Santa Teresa in Costa Rica. And we've been walking and weaving together for many years and actually spent quite a lot of time on Big Island, Hawaii together some years ago. And there was work deep in the Pacific Trench. For those who are familiar with the Pacific Trench, there are pyramids still down there, deep down in the Pacific Ocean, that we've been working with some time as the planetary pyramid system was being recalibrated. But this time was different. While we were down there, it was to anchor in like a cocoon or a chrysalis for this next wave of incoming children. And we've been talking about Homo luminous soul embodiment, Homo galacticus, our galactic recalibration, Homo universalis, the new ones that have recently been arriving in the universal architecture. And the reason for this anchoring was to open a midway point for those that are going to be landing in their multi-universal architecture. And it was anchoring deep within the Pacific Trench, also through Turkey, Imnidra Temple in Malta, Hawaii, Aotearoa, Rapa Nui, and other points along the Pacific Eastern board. So this was also unfolding on the 13th, 14th of February. So wish to bring that awareness into the mix for today's journey. And we would love to hear from anyone here who has other pieces of the planetary puzzle that they would like to contribute.
I just want to ask Steph to put up a code because she's shy.
She is, but she's got them waiting
I know, I'm poking her.
Okay, hold on a second. Here we go. We're going to go with our first one. So this is our first OMNIQuantum fire horse imprint fractal. We got lucky and we got 3. So this is the first one. And feel free to share whatever you want to about it, guys, how it makes you feel or whatever. Because even though that's what I say, I don't really name them. I just do them and allow you all to have whatever experience you have with them. So have at it.
The turning over of time is what comes.
I received the ignition of the pathways of return. And it went whew, right through me. So thank you, Stephanie. It's beautiful.
It reminds me totally. Can you hear?
Go
We can
ahead,
hear
Anna
you really
Katrina.
well.
We can hear you.
Yeah. Can you? Okay, perfect. Yeah, I just needed the confirmation. It looks very much. It is very much connecting to the work actually that Robin and I did, even though it was multi-layered. And it started our common work in Iran. And that is when, after the last Guardians of Gaia meeting, and we had this one session, we had several, that in the first session, we were guided back to Iran and this ancient woman that Robin had been seeing. So she appeared again. And then I was shown before we met already in the sand, this huge rose. It was like a desert rose. And it was opening like a huge, huge earth chakra or earth portal. And then they told me like this is a very ancient trail connected, and a very, very old circle of women is connected to this earth chakra. And it looked like that. It looked like a rose, a mixture out of rose and out of desert rose that is like opening up a dry one. And then all these women came in. And that is what I wanted to share today as a snippet of that work, because it might be beneficial for others, because I feel it is an ancient women's circle that was showing up there in Iran. And they came together around this earth chakra. And from there, I was told there is an ancient path that was covered by sand. And of course, all the layers were in the work. The dragons appeared. They were like blowing open this path, like the sand away. And that path was leading us and guiding us to Egypt. And we went several times, and it was in several works about these ancient paths that connect Egypt and also ancient knowledge that was opening up. But this circle of women, yeah, when I saw this now, I'm like, I was reminded, and I hope these women will show up or remember in their soul that they once belonged to this ancient, very, very ancient circle. And yeah, this trail. And of course there was more, but that was like this image is really almost like what was there in multi-layered ways, yeah, in multi-dimensional ways as well. Yeah.
Thank you, Anna Katrina. On that note, maybe Stephanie, you may like to bring up the second one, because that will reflect just what you've shared, Anna Katrina. It'll be interesting to see what you get from this one.
Yeah.
Pearlized portals opening, new scene
Yeah.
assembling.
That is actually really reminding me on what they said before our meeting today. Like that was the Guardians of Gaia will open many portals today for humanity. So that looks like that. Mm.
And this one and the last one we're going to show, I actually created for the weekly 0 point meditation. So when I did this, that's what I had in mind for to bring in the new energies into the fire horse new year. So there's a lot of that energy in it also.
There's a connection piece for me here that keeps coming up, and it's a connecting to the lineage of our dragon tribes that want to come forward as part of the gateways opening up. And as part of the representation of those grandmothers, the ancient ones. I had a group of Native grandmothers that used to come and help me work, and they would call themselves the MoMA, mothers of our mother's ancestors. And there was a group of 12 of them, and they represented the different lineage of the Native tribes, but they also held the aspect of the galactic tribes. For each Native tribe, there was the galactic aspect also that wanted to come forward in connection with them. And this feels similar to Anna Katrina's ring of women that begin to stand together again.
I think it's also collapsing outdated power dynamics out of our power centers.
And with all this talk of women and the ancient grandmothers, I'd also like to take a moment to honor our men, those that stand with us in circle on each new and full moon, and the brothers that are doing their deep work to reclaim their pillar and place on our planet at this time. For it is very important for us to walk and work and weave together once again, and to meet in this 0 point together, to listen deeply together and take action together.
I'll be sure to send all three of them to you, Leanne, so that everyone can work with them. So don't worry if you're just starting out, or you can hang on to them and work with them as you want for the year, because they're evergreen. So whatever um, evolution that you make, it will meet you where you are. So each time you look at it, it will be where you are, not, and it's changing even as we are sitting here. It's um, meeting you in each and every evolutionary moment with every breath. So
Thank you, Stephanie Elaine, for your wonderful gifts and for sharing them so generously. They feel like very important keys to our personal and collective walk that we're embarking upon. And you know, we're only 3 days away from Saturn conjunct Neptune in 0 degrees Aries, which is really significant, although it's a change that happens, or a meeting that happens every 36 years. For the two to meet at 0 point in Aries, at 0 degrees in Aries, is the Ouroboros. It's the end and the beginning of something entirely new. And I have a feeling that these two haven't met for something around 6,000 years at 0 degrees Aries. So that's the depth and the height of the degree of potential that we stand on the threshold of, to really choose consciously in each moment what we're creating. And there may be some here who can elaborate greater on that astrological opportunity that we've been given personally, collectively, and planetary. It's not just turning over a new page, it's like being handed a blank canvas of the next book, the next root race of humanity, the next civilization.
Hi, can you hear me, guys? Yep. Hello. I just want to say that the really strong image I'm receiving for about the last 5 minutes is of each of the people here in the circle with a plasma egg, and the plasma egg holds the codes of the new root races, and it's really, really potent. And I've been feeling for the last 2 weeks this intense optimism and joyfulness and hopefulness, which is kind of erasing a very murky January. Yeah, I feel we're on the cusp of something incredible. And it's so beautiful to be here with you all. I'm very, very grateful for Anna and Anna for pulling me in, the two Annas. Okay, thank you.
The fact that you brought up a plasma egg, Joe, it's interesting because this was actually one of the first fractals that I ever did, and it's coming back into play now. But they were like, bring it up so that there's a, okay, I found it. Um, because we were talking about plasma in several of the groups that I'm in also, and it seems to be something that is also about the waters and new waters. So I'm just going to share this, and hopefully it'll help with that feeling and visualization of the plasma egg. So, and I'll share that one too. So don't worry, but that's the one. I have several of them, but this is the one that they showed me right away when you said that. So, and I have to mention that I've been dealing with the fire horse and all the fiery fractals, and I am freezing. I cannot get warm to save my life. I'm, I'm sitting here, my teeth are chattering, but it's it, that one. This one's very special to me too because it was the first time that I put the algorithm in and it gave me that. And I was like, oh my goodness, it was like the very first. So I feel like it's like about creation in its finest point from 0 point into creation. So
It's beautiful, Steph. What I receive from this is the rebirthing of cosmic consciousness.
Yeah, not just cosmic consciousness. I'm getting that all that is potentiality, potentiality of all that is and can be. If only we allow it to manifest.
Yeah, I'd like to add, I feel like I've been waiting for this day for a really long time in my being. And I'm feeling more grounded in this moment. But earlier today, I felt like I was absolutely flying with the shift of energy for me between yesterday and today. And there is I actually wrote about it last night because someone invited me to start a Substack, which isn't something I would have chosen to do, but I launched it today because this energy of new beginnings is so potent. It was like, this is the day to give birth. And the imagery as I was writing, literally, I could just see pregnancy and potentiality. And there's a lot of energy with this. There's the fire horse energy, but also in human design or the gene keys, whichever you follow, at this moment until tomorrow, we're still in the energy of the gate 30, which is the gate of feelings, and the clinging fire, which is the essence of it is desire and passion, to have new experiences, to create something new. It's this fertile, creative energy. So we have at least 3 things going on today that are just bringing this birth, fertility, pregnancy, creation, evolution. And yeah, my whole being, I feel like if there was an energy sweet shop, I'm like a kid in the energy sweet shop, just so excited. And then, with this conjunction on Friday with Neptune and Saturn, that feels like the icing on the cake. Like there's this massive once in 6,000 years experience, as well as all of this other energy excitement that's flowing through my being. So yeah, I'm just so optimistic and excited, and just wanted to share that with you.
Thank you for sharing your effervescent, bubbly champagne coming out of Mexico. Tiffany, that's great. It reminded me, not so many years ago, I had a session with a brother, Australian brother in Bali, and he was combining craniosacral therapy with mythology and astrology. And we were actually, with my body as the vehicle, unwinding the mythology, particularly the Greek mythology, that's held us in a certain consciousness and arrangement for thousands of years. So it's like part of that unwinding the mythology, unwinding the stories, unbinding us from the past in order to arrive into the present and create from that 0 point, from that stillness. something entirely new is very exciting.
And not only for ourselves, but our children also. Last week or last time we met, we talked a little bit of unhooking from the control grids, or the grids that hijack the nervous system. And I was working with a soul sister in Hawaii, a mama, and we were passing down the codes not only for her to unhook and unwind, but also for her children, which is a similar experience as to what I had. And the last day or so, both of our kiddos have been expressing a high fever and expressing the release of that connection through their physical bodies, that they no longer have to participate in that also. Because as the mama, we pass down the codes through our lineage, through our consciousness, that all that we are connected to no longer has to experience that as well.
Okay, on that note, the carbon lineages and changing the patterns in your carbon lineage, I just want to bring the attention. I'm really experiencing a lot of new dimensional councils, I'll call them, coming online at different levels. And so the one that I'm most fascinated with right now, that I'm just going to connect in with, and I see it. Steph, I love that code you just did, because it's such a ring. You know, it's such a jewel. I'm getting a lot about the royal rays expressing in frequency, color, and geometry as actual jewels activated, and also DNA that are revolving and holding the ancestral DNA codes, the ancestral flows. Sorry, I get all high. So I don't know how to call this, but imagine at your table, your relatives, like I will call in my actual great grandma Faye, in my lineage somehow, who is a living on Earth. What is it, interdimensionally? Like these relatives that live on Earth in a different, new and true way. Well, new to us, but also what they're moving into with us is very new to them, which is thrilling. So what I'm talking about at my table is Faye and Myrrh particularly. And I keep feeling the pearl come in as a Myrrh connection, and it has to do with our true blood flows from our ancestors, direct star flows. Someone probably in the group is connected with Yeti. I don't feel the Yeti connection, but I would love to hear someone who does, because I would love to feel that direct flow. Sasquatch. So just to say, as I feel it, these carbon lineages that were born into this biology, they play as linear songs that keep repeating through the generations to me. And we stop playing those patterns, and then up come more like harp strings to me that we start playing in continual flows. So it's a very different orientation. And I believe that it's that Pisces 29 to Aries, 0 Aries. That's the portal to grand new cycles. I'm just going to throw a couple things on the table. Ovaries, because 0 Aries, O-V, Aries. I can't unsee it. And also this eclipse has passed over. Remember Saret Roos, who was, while we were on a call for maybe it was solstice or something, sitting with the Chinese meridians at the perineum. She was sitting in South Africa at a perineum point on the land. And that point, I confirmed with her, had the total solar eclipse. So for me, the chasm between the thought separation between genders is collapsing. So also the energy of lingam. Yeah. The end and new beginnings.
And of course, you would bring in Sasquatch because that is a guardian of mine through my Cherokee lineage. So, and I got a chance to reconnect on a very visceral level when I went to Oklahoma. We our Wanipi for Sweat Lodge was on the their trail. So whenever we were in the Wanipi, you could see the Sasquatch walk because the fire was here, then the road, then our Wanipi, and they would walk through and they would come in and then they'd disappear. It was fabulous. I mean, it was to have that, and you could hear their breath and feel, when they hit the ground, how it shook, you know. Um, it was so OCO brothers and sisters.
I feel I want to pick up on this ovaries because as soon as Anna said it, then I was thinking, well, what became before the zero Aries or the ovaries? And if you write it down, literally zero Aries, the only thing that's missing is the V. But the V is the shape of the horns. If you think of the astrological Aries, it's a V shape. But what came before the zero Aries is Pisces. And what are Pisces but the fish? And then that made me think of sperm. So there's something just really flowing in terms of all of this fertility and pregnancy and potentiality and birth, that even this astrological movement is showing us that that movement from conception into whatever it's going to evolve into.
And on top of that, just the idea, which fixed thought patterns that we're stepping out of, we've had this idea of conception between man and woman. So just to bring into the field the concept and a physical imprint of collective conception, which holding it all as one, like truly a village and a community welcoming in a soul. And I love that for me, in the Fae lineage, that energetic is being imprinted. So I'm sure many other lineages. But just that concept, well, that experience is and already held by our living, flowing, real lineages that are living, I don't know how to say it, other dimensionally, but in a physical experience on Gaia. The technology exists, and I'm excited.
Okay, I have one other. You guys are pulling these out. Whew, I have one more that wasn't planned, but I need to share with you because it's an OMNIQuantum entanglement fractal that when I was going through my pictures, the date on it was June 19th, 1977. It wasn't even possible for me to make this back then. It wasn't possible to even have an why is a picture from this now showing up with that date? Because I didn't do it then. But then I thought that maybe that's when the inception of it, because I was really into Einstein back in the day. Um, and maybe that's where that came from. And that's why Spirit dated it that date. It doesn't have it on this one I'm going to show you, but I'll share the one that has it on there also. Hold on a second. You're not getting away today, easy. Okay, let me see if I've got it. I do have it here. They plan way better than I do. So that's our OMNIQuantum entanglement. So it's just not quantum entanglement. It's OMNIQuantum entanglement. Kind of feels like my brain sometimes. And what this always reminds me of is all the things that had to happen in all of our lives through the years that we've lived and the millennia that we've been here for us to be here in this moment, right now, all together. What it took in each one of our lives across the galaxies to come here and be here today together. I find it fascinating, absolutely fascinating. From all walks of life, we are here right now, here in this moment, in the now. I'm ever in awe of the greatness of our beings. And I'm honored and so pleased to be here with you. Thank you so much for showing up.
I love the way that the golden thread wove through the last fractal that connects us all together. Beautiful. Thank you, Stephanie. And I think Stephanie has one more magical gift for us before we close today. On this day of fire. And while she gets it, it's a time to remember while we have this fire burning, to make sure that we have the structure in place to birth what wants to be birthed in you, and that we don't burn out, because it's very easy on this energy to go into overdrive. And it's, speaking from personal experience where I've burnt out far too many times, it's important to create at the pace of grace, at the speed of love, from a parasympathetic nervous system, so that we can take care of these physical animal bodies we get to walk the earth on and experience ourselves in and through at this time. Because without them, we are unable to create. Our health is our greatest wealth. So make sure we balance out that fire with plenty of water and earth. And on that note, have some more fire.
And it just occurred to me that they did wake me up in the middle of the night because I had to put the Ouroboros in there, that one that circles and comes to a point right here is an Ouroboros. It's a complete circle that comes around. So I'm so glad that they do that. You know, they have me do something, then they tell me later what it's about. So I think we've covered everything.
That's beautiful. The information that wanted to come through my channel was that this was about our cosmic conception, right? The death and rebirth as one.
Love it. Love it. And also, actually, Anna Rose made me realize that it went from the very first one to the rose and then to, what did you call it, Anna? You said
My
it
brain is
was
not
an
functioning. And to me, it was like, here's the threshold. Then it was like those lights went on, and then there was like a little pearl at the center of the rose. It's like go through the portal, and then to me, this is like, what do you call that? The sonic. Oh, supernova. That's the word. Supernova.
supernova. That was what you said. Yeah,
Supernova.
both of us have fractal brain right now.
Fire horse brain. Yeah, and shout out to Stephanie for creating these codes, because for me, I'm seeing this eclipse corridor as a blank slate, and her codes that she has been creating from the outer reaches of the Omni, bringing them into this form. And to me, it's like we've got this blank slate and these like many snowflake imprints landing on this blank slate. And these aren't just maps for her, obviously. It just blows my mind how many star systems she's mapped out, and they're just dropping like snowflakes. Go, Steph.
interesting that you mentioned the rose, because that's exactly the first thing that I saw when I looked at that image. So there is something really potent about the rose energy, or even rose lineages coming through and looking at that.
And I see the cervix opening and the light of the womb, and I always think the cervix is the rose opening. So yeah, beautiful.
Yes, but Joe, I want to know what's on the other side.
Thank you so much, Stephanie Lane. And thank you, everybody, for your dedication, devotion, and heart to walk this path of love and truth, and to share our journey together today as we sit in circle in cyberspace. There is much to digest and integrate to fully actualize the depth of this personal and planetary reset that we've been offered. What a gift. And a great gift that we're all here to share it. And on that note, I'd love to pass you over to Casey for closure today.
Thank you, everyone. There's a deep honoring in the field for all of us who have chosen to say yes at this time to the deep level of unwinding and the zero pointing of each field. It is important that we take these codes with us to allow them to expand and evolve just as we do. To not leave them behind as we close down the field, but to allow this gentle field to remain open, that they might come in through all layers and levels, through the energy body, your light body, as a remembrance of what you are saying yes to and what you are choosing at this time. Like those gentle snowflake imprints or gentle raindrops, reminding you of your connection to all that there is, your connection to Gaia as your earth home, as your earth mother, and your womb gate, and your connection to the stars, informing your system of something greater that you have brought in with you at this time, that you've always had with you. And now it's just stepping back into that remembrance portal and allowing things to shift and change around you. as you stay flowing, connected to the field, and honoring your place where you stand in your journey and on the earth plan. And understanding that this is part of the greatest plan of all. That your journey was designed by you to be in connection with others around you. With so much love and gratitude, we invite you to take your next steps on your path, continuing to say yes, opening the doorway and walking through this sacred portal time, walking through the shifts and changes around you, and walking into the new. With so much love, we thank you at this time.
Thank you, Casey. As we walk through this 2-week passage to our full moon eclipse on the other end, may the journey unfold with ease and grace. And for those that are watching the replay, if it is not, know that everyone you've met here today are practitioners and facilitators in their own right. So if you feel you need support, please do reach out to those who resonate, rather than get stuck in the mud of the past when there's a new garden to be planted with consciousness. And on that note, we wish you well until next that we may meet. Aroha nui from Aotearoa, New Zealand, land of first light and long threshold to the universe. See you on the dance floor of life.